and William Laughlin!
There are a whole bunch of Stephen King adaptations in the works, but one that's really got people talking is The Running Man. What makes it interesting is that the original novel didn't come out under Stephen King's usual name. It was published in 1982 under his lesser-known pseudonym, Richard Bachman. In this version of The Country, people are totally hooked on this violent reality TV show where contestants are hunted down by professional killers. It's a deadly game, literally, and people love to watch. Fast forward to now, and The Running Man is getting a new version, with Edgar Wright in the director's chair. That alone makes the project stand out, because Wright's got a strong track record for mixing sharp storytelling with slick visuals. And the cast? It's stacked. Glen Powell is leading the charge, backed by actors like Coleman Domingo, Josh Brolin. With that kind of talent and a visionary director, expectations are already sky high. But here's the thing. It's not the first time this story has been brought to the screen. Way back in 1987, a film adaptation starring Arnold Schwarzenegger was released. That version took a few creative liberties and leaned more into the sci-fi action genre. It was directed by Paul Michael Glaser, and although it's gained cult status over the years, it had to work within the limitations of its time. Visual effects weren't nearly as advanced back then, and King adaptations weren't nearly as common or polished as they are now. So when Schwarzenegger talks about the remake, he makes some pretty valid points. He recently shared his thoughts in an interview, saying that the original film could have been way better if they'd had more money and better visual effects. He didn't trash the movie, he still seems proud of it, but he admitted that there were things he wished they could have done differently. According to him, the story deserved a bigger budget and more sophisticated tech, both of which are more than available today. He's hopeful that this new version will take things to the next level, and honestly, he might be right. Because if there's one area where the 2025 remake is bound to outshine the original, it's definitely in the visuals. The 1987 film, while charming in its own way, looks pretty dated now. The costumes, the sets, the special effects, all of it screams late 80s in a way that doesn't always hold up. But with the kind of CGI and production tools filmmakers have access to today, Edgar Wright's version is in a great spot to modernize everything without losing the heart of the story. Plus, Wright is known for his stylistic flair, so the movie's bound to have a distinctive look. That said, what's even more exciting is that Wright isn't just planning to polish the visuals, he wants to go deeper. One of the biggest criticisms of the Schwarzenegger version was that it didn't really stick to the book. The movie turned the main character, Ben Richards, into a muscle-bound action hero, and the story stayed in one location for most of the runtime. Wright, on the other hand, wants to bring the novel to life more faithfully. He's already said that Richards will move through different settings and environments, which lines up more closely with the book's structure. In a podcast interview, Wright said that the original movie didn't do the book justice. In his words, it's a story that's crying out to be adapted properly. And that's not just lip service. Fans of King's original novel will probably be relieved to hear that the 2025 version is finally going to give the source material the kind of treatment it deserves. It's more than just a remake, it's a reimagining that stays true to the original themes and narrative. And this remake could very well be part of a banner year for Stephen King adaptations. 2025 is shaping up to be a major year for his stories making the leap to the screen. We've already had The Life of Chuck and The Monkey released with solid reviews, and come September, audiences will finally get to see The Long Walk, another long-anticipated adaptation. If The Running Man lives up to the hype, then this year might be remembered as one of the best for King fans in a long time. In fact, The Running Man even had its teaser footage premiere at CinemaCon, which is a major film industry event where studios show off their upcoming projects. During Paramount's presentation in April, they gave attendees an early look at the film, and while the teaser hasn't been made public yet, descriptions of it are already out, and it sounds like they're going all in on the action. The teaser kicks off with Ben Richards, played by Glen Powell, hiding out in a gritty alleyway. Josh Brolin's character, Dan Killian, shows up and tries to convince him to enter the game, promising that he can save his family if he wins. Then we hear Coleman Domingo's slick game show host voiceover. The thrill of the hunt sharpens your senses. The footage cuts to a training montage, contestants being zapped with shock sticks, and lots of chaos. Domingo delivers another hard-hitting line, shouting, "This is America, goddammit, and we don't put up with no bullshit," all while the crowd cheers behind him. There's a mix of fast-paced action and dark humor throughout. One intense moment shows Richards shouting, "Stop filming me," directly into a camera as he runs from his pursuers. Another sequence has him dodging a grenade in an elevator, barely making it out alive, before yelling, "I'm still here, you shit-eaters." It's gritty, wild, and unapologetically intense. Another character, using a clever trick, lures a SWAT-style team into a trap and electrocutes them using nothing more than a water gun. The tone is edgy but inventive, classic Edgar Wright. As for the release, The Running Man was originally scheduled to come out on November 21st, 2025, but that date would have put it head-to-head with the highly anticipated Wicked for Good. So, in a smart move, the studio shifted the date to November 7th, giving it more breathing room at the box office. This should give the film a better shot at financial success without having to compete with a musical juggernaut. And considering the movie started filming about a year prior, it's pretty likely it'll hit that release date without any hiccups. That said, you never know. Release dates can shift around a lot, especially if other big movies decide to crowd the November schedule. Now, let's talk about the cast a little more, because it's seriously impressive. Glen Powell was the first big name announced. He's taking on the lead role of Ben Richards, following in Schwarzenegger's footsteps. Alongside him, you've got Daniel Ezra, Carl Glusman, and Katie O'Brien, all playing fellow contestants or hunters. Josh Brolin is stepping into the role of Dan Killian, the ruthless game producer who pulls the strings from behind the scenes. Then there's Lee Pace, who's been cast as a deadly hunter named Evan McCone. Michael Cera is reuniting with Edgar Wright for the first time since Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, playing a character named Bradley Throckmorton, a rebel working against the system. If all goes well, this remake won't just improve on the 1987 film, it could end up being one of the best King adaptations to date. And that's that for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.